They say music feeds the soul and food feeds the heart. So please join us for season 2 of Brunch with a Black Man, where we sit down with black men from across the world who talk about their experiences with mental health, mental wellness, and how they are taking on their own mental health journey. We sit down over brunch to break it down. Make sure you join us for season 2 of Brunch with a Black Man. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Brunch with a Black Man. I'm your host, Miracle Jones, and we're joined by Sebree Harris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming. I know it's been a very busy Philly, winter, everything, is going on with Philly, but how have you been?
I've been good. Working, staying safe. Getting ready for the new year like everybody else. So ramping up.
That's always good to hear. Now, was this how you grew up, having like brunch on a Saturday?
Growing up, no, we didn't have brunches on Saturdays. The weekends were just more so my dad might cook something late, and we just ate like without like any type of structure. Growing up, it was more so like, who's hungry, make you some cereal, but it wasn't no family sitting down. It's time to eat and fellowship and reflect on the week type of thing.
Gotcha. So what was it like for you growing up?
Eating on Saturdays?
Just in general, like your life.
Oh, okay.
What was baby Sebree like growing up?
Growing up, I was a little fat little kid. I would say a little overweight. But always like the life of, I guess, the family. Like always, my mom took care of me well, dressed nice. Was always looking for a joke. Kind of just went back and forth with a lot of banter. Whether you was an adult, a child, I was the child that was gonna say something that would lighten the room per se. Growing up, always had animals and pets around. So big dog family. My dad, he was the cane corsos, the pit bulls, the Rottweilers. So we were just known for having like a zoo in the house. And also growing up, I spent a lot of time with my cousins. Like my mom, she was the one that kind of, I'm gonna say, like steered away from drugs, had a job where she retired from and so forth. So we took in a lot of like our family members, whether their moms and dads were going through hardships. So I would grow up with a lot of my cousins in the house, in and out. So somebody stayed for like 3 years, 2 years, but I always like had my male cousins in the house as well. So it was like growing up with a nice, colorful household, you might say.
It's about growing up in this colorful household. You got your pops, you got your cousins. Who do you look for at this time, like for advice, to talk about music, talk about what's going on in the world? Like, who are the people who are like shaping young Sebree's mind?
The older people that I would probably look to is my cousin Rob. He's in Atlanta actually. He owns a tow truck business in a junkyard actually. And for him, it's just more so on a just mental growth aspect. He come from the same environment I come from, went through some of like the same challenges and hardships growing up, and to see the life he provided for himself and his children, I aspire to do that as well. So when I'm like, I guess, kind of stuck in between places, whether it's in my emotions or feelings, he kind of is like one of the people I talk to, like, yo, how would you handle this? What do you think about this? That's one of my go-to people. And I have a colleague named Jennifer Willis. She's also a lawyer. So a lot of the things in like the profession, as far as like climbing the ladder, the things we encounter and obstacles, that's the person I kind of bounce ideas off of and shape my next moves per se, or how to react to certain situations.
Let's talk about reacting to certain situations and the challenges like growing up, right? Where'd you grow up again?
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
And a lot of people know about like the North, but they don't always know about like these different cities. But like Delaware gets it cracking a little bit. It's like on and popping. And so like as you're growing up, you're with your cousins, you're meeting friends, you're moving around. Like, what were some of the challenges that you faced like growing up?
Growing up, just to give you an idea of what Wilmington, Delaware is like. Philly's gonna hate this, but it's like a small Philadelphia. For those with a smaller population, the culture is just almost the same. It's not as many Muslims, but a lot of people wear beards like this, so a lot of people confuse me and say, hey, you from Philly? But no, I'm really from Wilmington, Delaware, which is only about 25 to 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia. But growing up, for me per se, like growing up in the area, I kind of grew up in the Browntown area. It's the west side of Wilmington. Then it was more so like kind of the middle class, they would say, but it's got rougher over the years. So, you really can't tell the difference between the Hedgeville area, West Side, and Browntown area, which is Maryland at. there was a lot, I guess, temptation. For me, my mom worked overnight, so I didn't really have too much oversight growing up. So my mom might be over working from 10 to maybe 8 in the morning, and a lot of kids was coming in when the street lights went on. And like for me, I didn't have to come in for street lights. My mom wasn't there. Nobody was really there to police me as far as that. So during the day, I might be hanging with my friends that play basketball, go to the mall, typical kid stuff, playing video games. But then like the street lights might come on. I'm with, you would say, like my knucklehead group of friends more so. Those were probably more kids that more so like they had to survive, like they had to sell drugs, or they didn't know any other way. They didn't have a dad in their house, so like a lot of activities they were doing, I kind of was around that just because I didn't want to go home. I'm bored. I don't have any brothers at home, so it's like, so I'm kind of like taking all of that on as I'm growing up and developing into a young adult at that time. So from those situations, it kind of like, I don't say snowballed. Like things you might start out whether taking money from like a homeless person or something. You see your friends doing things like that. Then it goes from you getting into beefs with people from across town over petty stuff, maybe girls or just don't like you guys. But it's like it just kind of got from there. It just manifested in other situations. Like, so I guess I have a reel on Instagram where I talk about where I got shot. Like that kind of stemmed from decisions I made in my childhood or people I chose to affiliate myself with. Grace of God, I survived it, and nothing really came about it as far as like it was a headache going through it at the time, recovering and thinking about your future. Because you think at the time I'm in community college and so forth. It was like, am I still gonna be able to graduate? And I'm gonna be able to secure my degree. So at the time it's very stressful.
About being stressful, I think that most people would say being shot is a little more than just like stressful, but you have been balancing both worlds, the community life, the street life, the education life, but you have like a plan for your future. You want to go somewhere, you just do not know like where, right? You get shot, you gotta kind of take a little bit of backseat, physical therapy, get yourself back on the right track. What are you telling yourself mentally as like you're going through it? Because I don't think anybody thinks like I'm gonna get shot. Like people get shot, but you don't think it's gonna be me today.
I think for me, it was a little different. Like I said, that environment, we all got shot. So it wasn't like just like I was the only one out the group of people. Like, say if I got married, I was engaged at one time. Like my whole groomsmen, we'd probably been shot before at one point in time. So in my mindset, I wasn't out of the ordinary for like just my environment, my demographics. But to answer your question, like going through it, it's like, all right, I gotta make some change. I gotta do things different. Whether it's like, all right, distance myself from these group of people, mind my business at times, or just control my emotions at times as well. So that's what I was thinking going through it and coming out of it. But even doing that, I ended up getting shot probably 2 years later after that situation. So, and I wasn't even living in Wilmington at the time. I was living in Atlanta. I came up Wilmington, I guess, for good reasons. My cousin got married, came home, and still situations are still, I guess, tense between a group of my friends, another group of people from across town. And I found myself getting shot just being home within 48 hours. So in that instance, it was just like, it wasn't more sort of the environments, like, okay, you gotta do some more things like yourself. Like when you're in Georgia, nothing happens, but you come up here, it's still the same circle, I would say, per se, like same revolving door. So that one was like a little bit more harder because like, okay, I'm thinking I'm making the changes, I'm making the connections. I'm going to Georgia State at the time, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to Georgia State, I was working for Coca-Cola in the warehouse. Cause like I come from like, working hard and so forth. So it's like, all right, you're playing with your potential and your future at this point. So it's like, you really gotta sit down, do some work on yourself, whether you gotta isolate for a minute to really analyze what's going on in your life and what you're contributing to that for you to have those type of consequences.
And what does sitting down analyzing your life look like, right? Because I think you're going through something, you change, the circumstances still come back, you get shot again. So like you're isolating, but like what questions are you asking yourself?
Some of the questions I probably ask myself, like, when does this happen? Like, where am I at? Like, location, geography-wise, who's there? What people are around me when these things are happening? And what were the things that led up to that? Like, was there something I could have done to prevent it from happening? in the midst of that. Also, how did I react to that? So some people might get into a situation and say, for example, you might have a disagreement with someone. How you react after that can determine a lot. Like that could determine if that person come back to shoot you, come back if there's beef between your family, cars and stuff get damaged. So it's like how I react after that was also something I thought about. Okay, how should I react, or how was someone in my position? Because growing up for me it was like you see the things. Like, okay, he's in school, he's working a job. But for me, I never felt no different from my friends. My friends might not have went to school and went no job, but I feel like I'm still trying to chase success in that sense. It's like, for me, it's like, all right, I'm still working hard, but I'm not there yet where I have the credentials. I don't have the bachelor's degree behind me yet. I don't have the high-paying job, so it's like I'm still hustling, working hard, trying to make this money and become the man I want to be. So I think it was more so looking at the people who are there, like trying to say, okay, take myself out of just like the guy that so-called made it from my neighborhood or something like that. Like, who's actually doing this? Where those kids come from? What are they doing? All right, they're surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals who are on the same track to get what they want. Opposed to me, I'm around these group of people, and I'm the only one that wants to be a lawyer. I'm the only one that gets my bachelor's degree. So that was more so it for me, just trying to change the peer group I'm around, but also be open to grow and say something I'm not familiar with, I'm comfortable with. So like, I think for me, it was just more so putting myself around the right people and changing the way I view things.
And so you're in Atlanta, you're going to school, you're making, your ends meet, you're trying to do things. At what point do you say, you know what, maybe I should be a lawyer, maybe I should go to law school?
Okay, who was it? I think this touches on, okay, so I was going to, it leads out, okay, before going to Georgia State, I was going to community college in Georgia called Chattahoochee Tech Community College. I met a judge. He was my con law professor. His name is Chief Judge Drain. He's a Cherokee County judge, magistrate judge. So I was in a classroom with a lot of correction officers, sheriffs, police officers, and so forth. He was like, yo, you really got it. You really see it from a different perspective, because like the whole time I come from the other perspective. Like, these are the law enforcement perspective. I come from the side where it's like the people, the law enforcement people are arresting, the victims, the people house they're raiding. So like my perspective on different scenarios is like very different from them, and he can see the way I like analyze things. So I was telling him, like, in the midst of that, like, we got very close. He offered me an internship and so forth. So I think I actually got in trouble again. I had came home, visited in Delaware, got caught with a firearm at the time, so they charged like possession of a firearm, possession of a carry concealed firearm, I believe, with one of my friends, and told him about that. Like, I'm like a transparent person, so I didn't mind sharing this. It's like, he kind of told me, like, yo, you gotta cut this Mickey Mouse shit out. That's exactly what he said. Yeah. It's like, why did they pull you over? He goes outside, looks at my car. I had a Buick, Park Avenue, tinted windows, front windshield, 5%, everything's like, see, like stuff like that. Like you can't afford to be fucking around like that. So like, if this case or something sticks, you done. Like you future. I mean, it's no point. Like, you're wasting your time. I mean, by the grace of God, that went away, got dismissed, expunged, and so forth. So talking to him, I was like, hey, I'm about to graduate. I'm at Georgia State now at this time. I like juveniles at the time. So I'm like, I want to be maybe a juvenile director or a lawyer. So we kind of just looked at people's resumes and bios and seen like, what did they do to get there? And there was a guy, he was a juvenile director at some facility in Georgia. And he was like, well, look, he has all this experience, he spent all this time to get where he's at, but he's even going back to get his law degree. So he was like, well, if you just get your law degree, you can pick and do either or. So that kind of made that decision. And it was like, for me, it was like to have a white guy from the South really believe in me and say like, yo, you can do it. I always had like parents that say like, yo, you can do anything you want to. Like, I come from that. But like a stranger, you think you hear the stuff you hear about down south. He's a guy that goes hunting. He has acres, shooting deer, like fish hanging up on the wall. Like, this guy, like, you'll really think like, yo, I can be a good lawyer and I can do it. And that was kind of like, you know what? Let's go. I was scared when I went to it, but it's like, I'll be all right.
So let's do rewind.
Okay.
Okay. So, get shot, go to Atlanta, go back,
Visiting.
get shot again, go back to Atlanta, go back, get stopped. We would say profiled right now.
Correct.
You get arrested.
Yes.
right? At what point did you sit there and say, you know what, I'm not going to be one of these people that adopt this idea that in order for me to make it, I gotta not go home and pretend like home doesn't exist anymore? Because you're going back and forth and you still are trying to bring like your community with you and still keep the friends, because sometimes people say, you know what, I gotta change, but in order to change I just gotta forget anyone and everyone and just like focus on me. And you have very intentionally kept roots in both places. So what was it that kept bringing you back and letting you know like Atlanta is not the place where I'm going to stay?
Um, I I think I want to say Atlanta, but what kept bringing me back is more so like I have friends, I have family, I have events to come to. So I was never scared. Like things, the I guess the bad consequence that came with coming back, whether it's being shot, the arrest, that didn't deter me from coming back. But it's like I don't know. I don't want to say I didn't come back with anything to prove like I'm tough, I'm scared, I'm not running from anything. But that might be it. Like my dad, he said he had situations, but I don't really know how valid they were. But my dad was kind of like scared to come back to the city. Like after like high school, um, my dad kind of like, have a minute.
Yeah,
All
take
right.
your second. They're good. Breathe. And that's what we're here for. We're here to heal. We're here to have conversations. But what about your dad is making you emotional?
Well, he did now, but he was around, but he didn't stick around long. After like 15, he moved to Atlanta, but I guess he was feared for his safety come back to the city. So it's like he kind of was in and out of the city. So I don't know if I wasn't trying to be like that, but it's like I definitely wasn't that. But that might have contributed to it too.
Yeah. And you know, your dad was always like proud of you, right?
Yeah.
You know, you went to school, you graduated, you became a lawyer, you were interning with some judges. I mean, you've done a lot, right? And you've had this really amazing experiences. So I do think like your family is super proud of you, and you've been able to do the things that maybe some of your parents couldn't do. I think it's something that you have to like celebrate, you know, in yourself too, and just like take a moment and just like pour into yourself and think about like you're doing like the work that you've always wanted to do.
That's true. Just to answer the question.
You can't answer the question.
All right.
But
Yeah. So I think it was more so my father. He kind of like he feared for his safety, like coming back to Wilmington. So then all that stuff's going on with me. Like I'm not no punk either. So it's like I didn't want those things to deter me because I'm like, you know, I got good connections and roots in the city anyway. So it's like, despite all the bad thing that's going on, I'm still going to come, type of thing. And I wanted to show like my friends, like, hey, yo, I'm working for a judge. Look, this is the back of the courthouse. Looks like the only time they see the courthouse is when they're like facing charges. So it's like, yo, this is a whole different side. Like I'm back here joking with the judge. I'm joking with the law clerk. I might have just got shot. You heard about me get shot, but look, I'm still doing all these great things. Like you can still chase your dream no matter what you go through, type of thing. And I wanted the people to like feel me, see me, you know what I mean, just be accessible with myself. So I always remember this one girl, like she was a little kid. She seen me going to, I was a law clerk at the time. And she's like, yo, he got a suit on. What you going to prom? Like she'd never seen a black dude in a suit outside of going to prom in the city. So it's like, nah, work. Like, but they just not used to seeing a person in white collar work from them demographics. So I think it was more so for me, like just trying to just show people you could be something different. And because I never touched a lawyer, I never seen a lawyer outside of, you know, the George lawyers be paying to go to court to defend us, defend the family. So I thought it was a good thing to do. It's like, okay, it's a prestigious career, as people say. People know it's challenging. It's like, yo, you did that from here. So whoever here is watching me, like, yo, you could go be an astronaut, anything. So that's why I kind of stayed visible and accessible to my community.
And you talk about, you know, you didn't grow up with lawyers. Was there anything about law school that surprised you?
Surprise to me. Yeah, I think I didn't know people that socially awkward. To me, for me, it was like I'm coming from real urban communities, staying true to myself. I'm not code switching, dressing different, anything. So I'm getting there, and it's like some people don't even know how to talk to people. It's like it felt like a lot of people in law school were trying to create an identity for themselves, like no personality, no anything. And some people didn't even experience like that. So like I went to law school, like I said, I went through these charges. I didn't want being shy, so they might have anxiety on just taking the test for the finals, their grade, their internship might be riding on it. And it's like, yo, we knew we signed up for it. We came here for this. So I'm in law school, like no stress at all. Like I'm just like, all right, there's people taking Adderall up, all running around campus, and it's just like, and I'm just like la 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 la. And yeah, so for me, that was the thing, like just the people, and even like the African American people I encountered in law school, a lot of them, I'm gonna say they were more so afraid of, I guess, you know, the legal community is like a conservative community, like afraid to be themselves or speak up when they seen, you know, injustices or wrongs being happening on campus. I felt like I was kind of gonna say the rebel, but like definitely the one that would say something and wasn't afraid of the backlash or what people thought about it. And I didn't feel like most of the African Americans did that because they was too worried about making it or the people they needed to make it or get there. And like I grew up, my grandma was like, yo, what's for you, it's for you. So if that's your truth, you speaking your truth, do it. Because my individuality is everything for me, so I didn't mind, you know, staying true to who I was during law school.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, when they're trying to make it in the world, have to wrestle with, am I myself or am I my representative? And I think that's like why people always gravitate to you, because you're just like an earnest, honest person. Like I'm rock my beard, right? But let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. We can get into it because you, a young black man, you know, from the city, trying to be yourself. What did you encounter within the legal community just trying to be yourself?
A lot. So I guess there was a situation, I guess, actually we started law school. It was a girl. She was actually, I was the president of BOSA and vice president of BOSA while I was there, different years, but so we had a girl, she was a Caucasian woman, she was a secretary for us, and there was a guest speaker in the class. I wasn't in the class, but someone wrote something on Facebook like, hey, how dare they have this special guest, and they made some racial remarks in this class. So I literally just, me being me, comment on the Facebook post, I just said class went over and been on World Star or something like that. So this girl who's the treasurer of the organization I'm the president of, like screenshots it, sends it to the dean, tries to get me in trouble. So we kind of like, it's a small school. Like I was the only black man in my graduating class, that's how small it is. So she's like trying to get me in trouble. So it's kind of, we figured out by a process of elimination, because she submitted it anonymously, like that she was the one that did it. So I worked at the library as well. So she approached me at the library, like, hey, I thought we were friends, and stand there. I'm like, we're not cool. Like, you tried to do this underhand thing and get me in trouble for me just speaking my mind about a racist person having a platform at school. So from there, she made up all these lies and tried to file like a Title IX against me. Like, she said I tried to run her car off the road. She said I had people follow her home, knock on her door. She lives in like a safe neighborhood. No black guys pretty much go through there. She overheard me on my Bluetooth phone on the car saying we're gonna chop her car up, take it to Philadelphia. It was like a Lifetime Movie Network type of thing going on. Like, so all this, so I literally get a call out of the blue from a Title IX lady at the Widener in Chester. Say, hey, we're gonna investigate this. We got these complaints. So they tell me all that, and I think it was another complaint. Like, I came to class one day late, and it was a lot of racist things going on in class. So it's like some other guy, he's in that class as well. So I walk in late, so they're just looking like, so I'm looking back, and she says, I look back and caused all this fear. She was tremendously shaken in class. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So pretty much they didn't do the investigation. They throw it out in like 2 days. So that's just to give you like the temperature of what was going on in school. There was another thing I think going on in law school, I think, where the gentleman got shot. Was it Felice Philandro? Felice Castile. That went on. Yeah, so that went on. So people made a post on Facebook. They were happy about it, etc. So Then I think not too long after that, that guy had did the bombing and ended up blowing himself. They blew him up or something like that. He shot the cops. So then it was like a big thing on Facebook, and they felt like I baited them, but they commented on my post. You gotta think about it. Everybody that follows me is from Wilmington, Philadelphia. These are demographics, and you coming on with this, I guess, Republican. I mean, I'm not gonna say Republican views, just very racist and discriminatory views. And they felt as though, like, by that being shown or displayed on my post, like, I'm the one that did it. So, like, some of them guys, like, they lost internships and so forth because they were racist. So, I ain't gonna say I caused it, but it's like it revealed who was who, kind of thing. So that was like the temperature on campus. Like, it was like, all right, I'm one of the ones that's not gonna bite their tongue, but I'm not a person that's gonna just stir up beef just to stir it up. But if I feel away, I'm gonna let you know. So I guess we can get to the beard now. So like the beard, it was like I always kind of rocked the beard growing up. In school, I like tried to cut it. Like cut it. You know, internships, you gotta be clean cut. It's a legal profession. Do it. All right. So then, all right. Sometimes you got the job, sometimes you didn't. Then I think I got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna cut my beard. I got to a nice length. I want this job after law school. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut it. Went to 3 interviews for that same position. Still didn't get it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going my beard back. They're gonna accept me with my beard. They not. Yeah, that's kind of how it went. And it's like that's like I said, that's a part of just being me. I'm not religious. It's not like a Muslim beard or anything like that. So like, a lot of people try to use that as an excuse to let them slide at like work and work professions and so forth. But I think that's still like a cop out. If you want to wear your beard because you like it, say that. Don't try to find an excuse or some type of legitimate reason so they can accept you. They should accept you whether you got your tattoos, your nose piercings, and so forth. I mean, that's how I feel. I think that kind of like steered me into like even going to entrepreneurship. It's like, all right, I don't really, I wouldn't say fit in per se. Even like it's black lawyers and stuff that went to law school, Philly, they from the city, but it's like the things I was involved in the inner city, they wasn't. So it's still like a disconnect between some of the black lawyers as well, the men for sure. I didn't go stomp in a fraternity. I didn't do none of that type of stuff. Like I was surviving. You know what I mean? Like that's just my life. So yeah, so like I don't really connect to a lot of them either.
I think that's really. I thank you for saying that because I think sometimes people forget how isolating it can be in some of these professions, not only because of the people who are already there, but for the people who are in your community and they don't have the same experiences like you. So how was it like starting your own law firm?
Ooh, start my own firm. It's been a journey. Like I'm definitely still learning. For me, I didn't see it. Like kind of like I'm thinking like all them things I went through, the obstacles. I went to law school. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get to law school, get a high-paying job. Life's gonna be on easy streets. It's gonna be downhill. Like I didn't expect it to be nothing like what it is now. But it's been fun. I've been finding like a lot of peers are doing the same thing. A lot of people started to me, like, oh, you should do it. I kind of just, all right. Still was kind of halfway in, halfway out, trying to work for other people, supplement my income and so forth. But it's been fulfilling at times. Like, yo, you're doing it your way, how you want to do it, how you want to present yourself to the world, market yourself, work with the people you want to work with. Like, you don't have anyone selecting the clients you're going to work with and how you're going to work with them and what capacity type of thing. And I feel like even there's a difference between being in Atlanta and Philadelphia. I feel like the typical path for a lawyer up here, go work at a firm, work for government for years and years, then once you get notable notoriety, then maybe start your own thing, if so, and it's rare then. But Atlanta's like, that's like the home of the entrepreneurs. Everybody's jumping out of law school, hanging up their shingle, doing their own thing. So I feel like I get a lot more support on that end just because one, they're doing it and they know the experience opposed to someone up here just like they might know the practice area but they're not practicing for themselves. So yeah, but I enjoy it. Like I've been growing and I've been growing at the same time I watch other people grow. So like when I started my practice, it was around like COVID. A lot of people became entrepreneurs, started their businesses, and you know some people are just really starting to flourish now. So I'm definitely blessed to still be going for sure. It's been hard days. It's like, all right, man, I'm tired. I'm about to throw this towel in. But yeah, I enjoy it for now. So I just kind of got into personal injury. So that's like the new practice area I'm doing now. So a lot of my friends like Rachel Green, she's a phenomenal attorney in Atlanta. Prince Holloway, he's in Philadelphia. And there's a few other people that I lean on as far as just advice and how to handle that new practice area. So I'm excited about the next few months.
Yeah, because you've created a mentorship cohort of attorneys that you can learn from, that you can engage and deal with, and you still have like your community. And one thing that I think that always gets me like every year is when you give homage to your friends and community who is no longer here. That always, and I'm not to make you cry again.
I ain't gonna cry. I'm holding it in. I'm holding it together. I'm holding it
You
together.
know, what does it mean for you to like keep their memory alive, and why is that so important for you to remind people that they are a part of your story and your journey?
It's a lot of people part of my story, but like them specifically, cause they were there. Like they were, like I slept on the beds with these guys. Like growing up, we slept on the same mattresses. Like summertime, we were playing spades with their moms, grandmoms, and that's really a part of my story. It's like it's really no way of telling my story without telling that. Like, cause it's like when he got shot, they were there at that time. It's like those are people that come up in my story if you talking to someone else. And also it's like some of those guys like they had kids. Like yo, we want you to be the one to be, cause we know you're gonna be the one to make it. So you should be my kids, your godparents. So it's like I kind of got like a lot of responsibilities just off of them. Just like yo, who else going to watch our kids? Who else is going to still come look after them after we're gone or anything might happen to us? So it's like I've always been that person where it's like reliable, showed up for my friends, but that kind of like okay, I really got to do it too. And I'm just like if it was me, I know they would probably do it for me. So yeah, so like I still stay in contact with their moms, take flowers to their gravestones, do what I can with the kids. I got a son, he's 10 now. They're all around the same age, so I try to get them together when I can, take them on little trips and stuff. Still try to build that same brotherhood that I had. Who else? A part of that, like my cousin Bert. So as a law clerk, that was like my first legal job. So we probably making 40 to 50,000. We didn't really no money. Like we couldn't really get out and do nothing with it. So after law school, I'm like, my cousin Bert let me like stay on this couch. Like I'm like going from now people don't even know that. Like they're getting some tea now. Like this is some news. I stayed on the South Bridge of Wilmington for a little bit. So going from there to Philly, just like my cousin Bert, like he ain't asking no rent money, nothing. Like just like yo, I like what you're doing. Like you really overcoming all the stuff that's going on around you. So it was like I had people like that in my corner, and still do. So it makes it easier to come back home, do what I can for the people I can do it for, and don't feel like it's a burden or a hindrance.
Yeah, I think that's good though because you have these strong like family and community ties to keep you grounded, but you're also showing other people like there's multiple ways like to grind and hustle. And you know, hard work is hard work. You're gonna have challenges, but you can still overcome them not only because of who you are, but for the circle that you build up. And I think that like for a lot of our communities, we've been taught that like if you want to make it, you gotta leave
Leave it
home,
alone, yeah.
right? And it's like
You're not doing that.
those are the people who be like, bro, did you study today? Are you studying? Like, did you get your books? Do you mean anything? It's like our communities that want more for us, that like fight for us the most. And I think that's kind of like what you've been like showing and showcasing, because I think it's always funny, like the streets teach you how to fight, how to survive, and you're like, okay, I can do anything, and then you make, you know, your blue collar job, and you're like, wait a minute, I gotta keep fighting.
Right.
Like, it's like, wait, what? It's like a different fight, and I don't think we talk about that enough.
Yeah, like I find myself getting, I don't even say defeated. I feel like I'm tired, like I'm burnt out, like, cause you got the street stuff might be still going on, like even those people that passed away, it's like that stuff didn't die when they died, still like their cousins is still keeping it going on, their brothers is keeping it going, it's like, that street stuff never died, so that's still always almost at my back door, so it's like I got burnt out from stressing over that, how to deal with that, how to maneuver around the city and do little things. Then you got the profession, trying to climb the professional ladder, the entrepreneurship up and down. It's just like a lot of things. It's like I'm tired. Even co-parent. Like I got all that co-parenting with my son and so forth. So it's like as a person, like yo, I got work. I'm tired. Like I just need to, you know, the unplug kind of thing. So that's like people might notice on my social media. Like it's times I might post 6 months, 8 months. I just gotta log off because it's like it'd be the old sentiments like, yo, and I don't want to, convey to the world just a depiction of me, whether I'm going through something where I'm angry, depressed, upset. You know what I mean? You should be transparent, but at the same time, you want like a good representation of yourself. So I think your posts, your videos, your timeline can reflect that. So that's why sometimes I just kind of stay off of social media for periods of time.
And so when you're going through those times where you're burnt out, where you're stressed out, like how do you unplug?
For me, I'm gym. I like going to the gym. So like I have my spurts. I'm like everybody else. Like once I get my little results, I kind of slack off the gym. But I said I'm gonna make a lifestyle change this year. So I've been going. This day? 16 right now? Yeah, I've been going since like the 28th. Like I ain't missed a day. Whether I do cardio lifting, I go do that. Read scriptures. My mom sent me like scriptures every day. Her little, I guess she copy and pasted them off Instagram or something. I have no idea. So it's like comes from Instagram. But I read my little Bible app, go to church. So I try to just find those things to keep me grounded. Well, I find some uplifting words in scripture, talk to my friends, and it's just like, because I find myself a lot of times just pouring in a lot of people and not getting it back into me. So like in that unplugging moment, it's like, that's my time to pour into myself type of thing. So yeah, it's either the gym, my faith, and I write a little bit too. I do like to write as far as like poetry a little bit. So that's something I do. A lot of people don't know about that, but like when I have a birthday coming up, I like to write some nice words. I really think about it. And like, okay, that felt good to get that out or express how I felt about that person. So that's my way of like getting it out, like stress and so forth.
And like as you're building for the next steps, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to accomplishing in the future?
And professionally, personally?
Just in general.
Professionally, definitely like building my, my social media impact and imprint in the personal injury world. Because I've been really taking that serious, like studying, reaching out to friends, working on cases together. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how that grows and what I can bring to fruition with that. Personally, definitely my fitness goals. I'm trying to be topless come this summer, pop the top, you know what I mean? But yeah, like that. Help my mom out. She's got some like home renovation type projects she got. Like that's something I like doing too. Like people don't know, like DIY stuff. I'm like, yo, we need a TV hung, we need this painted. Like I just volunteered. Type of thing, because my dad, he was like from North Carolina, like country guy, always fixed everything, changed the oil, built patios, worked on the roof. So it's like, I'm the person that's like, all right, I want to at least try it. Like, so if you go to my mom's house, it's like all these holes. When I first tried to hang a TV, I didn't know anything about a stud finder. So it's like 50 holes on there. It's like, she like, don't let him hang your TV, look what he did to mine. But I learned during COVID, so I like go YouTube, I got all my little tools, so helping my friends out. So yeah, I just want to help my mom for sure. Like I said, for personal fitness, like health-wise. Yeah, and I want to be more involved in the legal community. Like that's something I could do more of. Like for me, I try to come around the legal community when it's like, when they volunteer and do stuff like that, help out the community. I mean, I need to come to more of the conferences and do more stuff like that. But for me, in the beginning, it was kind of like I didn't, even though I think it's like a necessary evil, I didn't necessarily feel like nothing was coming from it. For me, for myself, I felt like I was making a lot of money coming from it, getting referrals coming from it. It's like, what was the point? It seemed like it was an ego contest amongst lawyers. Like we just all in the room, stuff. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like nothing substantive. But that's something I want to do more of. Just, you know what I mean? Because you're going to eventually find your tribe doing it. So that's something I want to look forward to getting into more legal events this year. You're going to see a lot more of me.
Yeah, you got a lot of great things, a lot of great things on the horizon. And as you're like looking back and reflecting on the challenges, the peaks and the valleys like of your journey, what is like the one through line that you see? Like this one takeaway of the lessons learned of everything you've gone through?
The one lesson that I take away from everything I went through. Perseverance. That used to be my like Instagram name. It's like I persevered 365. That used to be my Instagram name for a while before I went to law school. That's just me. Like I'm gonna, even if I feel like there's some negative things, like you don't never necessarily get the chance to grieve, heal at times properly, but I'm gonna just keep going. I might do all that stuff later on, but no matter what happened, I'm going to just keep going. No matter how ugly it gets, how good it's going, you just gotta keep going. Like life gonna keep going, so there's no point in you stopping. And so that's just me. And anybody tell you that about me, like, yo, he ain't I really don't sit down and really like, this is my first time really sitting down processing this whole new personal injury stuff. But for the most part, I'm just always going forward, taking a step. But I think it's helped me. It's helped me for the most part. But sometimes I feel like it has its pros and its cons, I would say. Because at times you want to, be more analytical, logical, and reasonable. It's like you actually have to take that time to get to that point. But I feel like stopping in the midst of like hardships and obstacles, it's like it's not solution based. So I feel like if you keep going, you're going towards that solution that you're seeking. So that's me, just perseverance. You can describe me all in my words. I persevere.
Talk about perseverance. I do wonder when you're talking about like, you haven't had a moment to process. What would it look like for you to sit there and say, maybe not today, but maybe 3 Fridays from now, I'm gonna sit down and process. I'm gonna sit down and grieve. Like I'm gonna schedule this out. What would that look like for you?
For personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I have my moments. Like it might not like you see me crying today. Like it might be I might jump in the shower, and it's more so like I might hear a song that reminds me of something, or like I still got like my dad's belongings. So I don't know if I told you, like I found my dad's body. Like when he passed away, like I had to find him and find myself, type of thing. So it's like I still like see his items, I break down, put his stuff in storage. Like I have my moments where it's like I let stuff out. Or my mom, I talk to her sometime. I'm like, all right, this Saturday, let me take my mom out to eat or do something, or just get some stuff off my chest. So for me, it's just more so communicating or sitting with myself, processing how I feel, and just reflecting like where I'm at, opposed to where I was at, type of thing.
And so you talk about your mom and like processing. For your emotional support, what do you have to create for yourself in order for you to feel safe and feel like you can continue to persevere?
That's a good question. I feel like for myself, I have to create, a comfortable environment. I have to feel like where I'm safe, for one, where I can just express myself without, judgment. I feel like a lot of times people judge me. But I can just be free. Like I can really have that time where I can speak my mind, whether it's without a filter, and just let it all out. That's a good environment for myself. And I think me creating that is more so like whether I'm sitting down with a friend, my mom, like my dad's not here, like just use my mom probably if I do have anything. Some things I would tell my mom. I got Jen, that's one of my good close friends. Like I talk to her a lot. So it's either between those two right now. And my cousin Rob too. It's like for certain things. So I think I have people for different, aspects of my life. Like I guess I kind of compartmentalize like my personal, my professional, my manhood, fatherhood. Like I have people I go to for those type of things.
So you've been able to create this community of support, this compartmentalizing it as you say. So what is your 5-year plan? What are the things you want to look out on the horizon and be like, okay, this is some cool stuff I've accomplished. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to go relax.
Go relax. I'm still in my friend's goal, like $1 million. Mm-hmm. Not this year, next year.
Okay.
Because it's doable. I see my friends do this thing on this honest, it's like that's a good, rational and reasonable goal that you can hit. With hard work. I definitely want to be established in both legal communities. Like I'm part of Georgia and Pennsylvania, so I want the impact just as great in both, not one over the other. Like, all right, we kind of know him in Philly, but we don't know him in Atlanta, and vice versa. So I want to just like put both efforts in both communities, and I think I can do that. Like I really have a lot of connections in both, and just more so me feeding those seeds the way I need to. Like we might hang out, but it's like, is it purposeful? Does it serve my professional goals type of things? As well, 5 years from now, I want to give other people opportunities. Like that's my biggest thing. I always want to give back. So whether it's working for me, I'm always the one putting somebody, they're hiring, you should take this person's resume. I'm like the person that just wants people to do well. Like the judge always told me, like, as you climb, don't forget to lift. Like just help someone else out. So my 5-year goal is definitely being able to put on as many people as I can, whether it's in the legal community or help out, or just put them on the right path. Like, I love to help people that's helping themselves. Because I kind of like, at times I wish people help me is like the way I am to other people. So I know what they feel. So it's like at times it's like, I'm always willing to help a person that's like, I see them trying, they're willing to help themselves.
Well, Bree, I want to thank you so much for helping us help ourselves in this episode of Brunch with a Black Man. And thank you all so much for tuning in.